G'day everybody, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming 25th anniversary of ARC40K, our recent performance at the Strength in Numbers event, and then comp events and other sort of soft scores at tournaments more generally. I'm Dalton.
I'm Locky. What? Sorry.
But we're going down the couch. Oh, that's all good. I'm Dan.
And I'm Locky.
And you're watching the Risky Rollers podcast. G'day, it is good to be back doing this again.
I want to blame you for that because in the running sheet it goes you, me, then Dan.
It's because you usually be sitting here.
No, I know. It's not your fault. It's
No,
not
I'm going to blame it.
It's not you. It's not you.
It's not his fault.
He said the
Lucky was
same
sitting
thing.
here.
He said, I'll go him. Me.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
See, I came prepared in a way.
Sort of, yeah.
Well,
But when have you ever read the running sheet for this?
I mean, I do read it as soon as I get here.
occasionally.
But thank you all for joining us. We are, of course, joined by Dan Attril here from ARC40K.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you here. We're going to get to talk about ARC40K, about some exciting things going on next week.
Yep. This weekend. It's all happening.
I suppose it is this weekend, isn't it? It's
It
already
is.
Monday.
It is. It's
But,
Monday
it
now.
happens
So
faster than you think.
Yep.
Wanted to start by giving a huge thanks to all of our sponsors, of course. Dice Arcade up in Sydney, Miniature Scenery down here, and General Games Australia, stores in Malvern, Frankston, and in
Chirnside Park.
Chirnside Park. Thank you.
I always keep thinking it's Coburg, but
I keep wanting to say
it's Coburg.
yeah.
Because originally I got told Coburg a whole bunch of times, but it's not.
It's just down the road from my
There
place.
used to be a GW in Coburg.
Yes.
Okay, there you
Is
go.
it still there?
No.
Okay, that might be what we're thinking of.
Yeah.
But anyway, huge thanks to all of them. Thanks to all of our Discord members and patrons. You guys are all amazing. Let us do what we do. Which is, in this case, talk all sorts of stuff about tournaments and ARC, which I'm really keen for next week.
Yeah, it's going to be big. So we're super pumped for it too, mate.
Yep. So given that we've got Dan here from the ARC40K crew, if you guys have any questions and things that you want to do, make sure to drop them down in the chat. Lawrence is going to keep track of those, and we will be having a little bit of a chat at the end of the podcast where we can enter your questions, your queries, and conversations. If you want anything that's super urgent that you need to get out right now, you can always drop us a super chat. Those will actually pop up on screen now. We've got a nice little widget. Those will pop up, and we'll talk about those straight away. So anything urgent, drop us a line, and we'll hit you up for that.
Cool. But that can also be anything, right? That's not very specific related to ARC or anything.
It doesn't have to, anything at all. We've got a couple of different, almost both ends of the tournament spectrum being discussed on the podcast here today.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I actually think it's going to be an interesting way to sort of discuss both sides of it and look at that. Looking forward to it. So before we get into all of that, what's everyone been working on hobby-wise?
What does the run sheet say?
I guess I'll start. Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, literally nothing. Yeah. There's a big push last couple of weeks with all the World Eaters stuff, and then I'll just
I mean, can I just say, the 8-bound you've been doing up premium.
Thanks, man. But I've just taken a big old break. It's
You need it sometimes.
Everything's gotten a bit too much at the moment with a lot of filming, a lot of other bits and pieces on the back end that's happening. So yeah, need a break. You?
Yep. About the same, mate.
Yeah.
Nah. Oh, it would have been about 5 or 6 months ago. We, as organisers, thought, we'll build armies to take to ARC as organisers, and that became the ARC Army Challenge. I don't know if you guys have seen it on the site. And I put my hand up and said, I'll sort something out. And then about a month later, that went out the window. But I did start building some Iron Hands and things like that because I've got a bit of a love for them for the last 20-something years.
Yeah, nice.
So got a new army on the painting desk. It sort of gets worked through a little bit here and there. Got some Morlock Terminators I'm working on. But other than that, it's mainly ARC been the last 3 months.
Some what Terminators?
Morlock.
What Morlock?
They're the Iron
They're just the
Hands.
specific ones. The fluffy name for
Aren't they Gorgon? Aren't they Gorgon Terminators?
Maybe now.
No, the Gorgon's the nickname they had for Ferrus Menace.
Yes.
The Gorgon, because they're from the planet Medusa.
But they do have Gorgon Terminators.
Yeah, but Gorgon
as well.
Terminators is a thing,
Yeah,
right?
it is a thing, yeah.
Because
But
those were the Forge World ones, right? The Gorgon
No, I think
Terminators were the
those are the
specific
Morlocks.
Forge World ones from
Yeah, it could be.
for 30k, right?
Yeah. Well, they're 3D printed, these ones. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're called Morlock Terminators from it's in the fluff somewhere.
I
It's
just listened to
Yeah.
the one of the novellas with Iron Hands in it after post Istvan, and they had a bunch of Morlock Terminators in that.
Yeah, right.
And that was just like their Red Butchers essentially.
But is their shtick like they're still like half machine, right?
Yeah,
Essentially,
yeah. You're
yeah.
basically
They're
the
more
flesh is weak.
machine than human,
Yeah,
kind of.
you
right?
replace your weak parts with machine parts.
Yeah, cool.
So, and they, in the old backstory, they lost all their Terminators on Istvan.
Yeah.
So they basically venerate them, and the veteran sergeants used to be able to wear Terminator armor.
Yeah,
That's
right,
cool.
okay.
Yeah. And then obviously additions and the rules changed, and
Right,
Yeah.
so you could even in the game take like your Sarjo was an actual Terminator and everyone else was normal. Oh, that's pretty
cool.
sick.
but you pay the points, mate.
Yeah, but still, that's still pretty cool.
Back in the day, a Stormbolter and a
Power
sword.
fist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, ARC's been taking up all my time pretty much. So
Yeah, tournaments will do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I've been very similar boat to Locky, which is I haven't been doing much hobby at all. It's just been busy.
Well, you were going to. Because you have an army arc story too, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, as in, I'm like,
The truth
I'll
comes
paint up.
out.
I'll paint up a bunch of my leagues of Votan for ARC.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, oh wait, it's already February, and I haven't bought half the models for this, and I've got 3 tournaments in the next 3 weeks. So I'm going to run an RE instead, which is probably my best painted army other than leagues.
amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
When you go, it's February already. Holy cow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, the weird thing with that, I think that the problem is when you have a sea of armies to pick from, you
Yeah.
kind of sometimes go, well, you're not forced in that situation. I have to paint this because otherwise I'm not going. Like, well, worst case, I can just pick from any of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
so you're like,
Next
makes
week.
you a little bit complacent, I think,
Yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, that's it. I did want to make sure I brought like something I'd painted and that I was really proud of. So
Yeah.
the Inari are the ones for that. And I'm tossing up painting up another unit this week to add to it just to really sell the theme I'm going for.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah.
Cool.
And then, as always in this bit, we do want to give a shout out to some of our members down in our Discord and shine a spotlight on some of what they've been working on. So Lawrence is pointing up to a different thing on the screen. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll come back to it. So the first one for that one is an Imperial Knight for the Emperor's Children for 30k. A nice snazzy new area down here rather than taking the whole screen.
Oh, yeah.
This is done up by Liam, who it is actually, I believe it's his birthday today as we're recording this, which is nice.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, Liam. But yeah, he's done like a really, really nice Emperor's Children Knight here. Lovely big wing on the shoulder. And I'm actually really enjoying the basing. He's got like some like actual infantry down on the base doing some cool
I
stuff.
thought I could see that.
Which is just sweet. I love that scale. I love the difference then. I love that he's managed to incorporate that into a display on the model. Yeah.
Cool. That's what I love about large figures like that is you got such a large base to really
go
to town on the, like, what's going on around it. You know what I mean? It's going to cause carnage.
That's easier. Yeah. Now I can actually see the wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a dead Marine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, well done, Liam. It's looking really good. I'm keen to see it on the table and face off against it with some Sons of Horus. And then
It's a rough game, Emperor's Children.
yeah,
It's a rough game.
I've played into it already. It's interesting.
It's great.
I'm definitely keen to go back into them.
Yeah.
And then the other one was some Leagues of Votan because I couldn't paint my own. I've been living vicariously through Tomo painting up his. And these are some really striking blue Leagues of Votan. Done a really nice, just a very solid fade on all the blue. It looks really good. And then just some really nice color pops with all of the little neon tufts in the base. As an army, it's really cohesive and really striking, and it looks great.
Almost look Smurf-like.
Almost, yeah. Or Terran Marines.
Oh yeah, Ultramarine. Terran Marines.
Not gonna
Yeah.
lie, from this distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought was, are they Ultramarines?
Yeah.
And then you said they were Votan, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, Terran Marines. I like that.
Yeah.
So I've actually been seeing a little bit more of like people doing the Dead Space thing as well.
Yes, yeah,
So
that's really
the
cool.
whole Dead Space Isaac style for Votan, and then
I haven't played Dead Space in ages.
so
It's
annoying
good.
because it's kind of making me like go, I don't want to do it.
I mean, look,
Because of the, I mean, I hate Space Dwarves, but I mean, I love Terran Marines.
I've got models you can take with you when you leave. Like,
No, it's too much of the studio already.
Yes. And you didn't say you had much on your hobby plate.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so look, Tomo, those are looking great, and you've done a massive effort to get all of those ready straight away. So good on you.
Yeah, congrats, mate.
Yeah. And also wanted to throw out there as well. I believe I think Tomo took Orcs. I think it was. We went down to a tournament yesterday down in Frankston, and did very well, placing first as far as battle points and stuff went, and then being pipped at the post by Ben K with sportsmanship score coming in for that one.
Oh, right. So
yeah.
Ben won?
Ben won with the sportsmanship bumping him up above Tomo's placing.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well done, both of you guys. That's awesome.
Good. But yeah, so good work, guys. And then the one that Lawrence was pointing out earlier before we transition away, because he had all the stuff up, are all of our events. If you're interested in attending any of our events, which are all set up here, make sure to get around it. We've got 2 coming up soon. We have on the 12th of March, which is incorrect on this calendar because it's been... Oh, it's correct. It's been fixed. Fantastic. We had to move the event around a little bit just to make it work. On the 12th of March, we have our first standalone Kill Team tournament. This one is competitive. It's ITC and OCC ranked. It's not a qualifying event for the OCC. That's the one after that. This one is ITC ranked. It's going to be and OCC ranked. It's going to be sweet. Make sure to come down. That's 5 events in the 5 rounds on the one day. That's going to be cool. Huge thanks to Stuart Bramford for helping us with TOing and judging for that one, given our lack of Kill Team experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be sweet. And then the week after, that's Infiltration. 32 spots available for that one. Tickets are up on dicearcade.com.au. And the player packs for that are linked in our Discord and so on. And as soon as this podcast is over, are getting plastered all over social media.
Yes.
So make sure to get around it. And then the big one that we're really excited for 40K wise is Calling the Banners.
Yeah.
This is our first GT for the year. 2-day event on the 18th and 19th of March. 5 rounds, 60 players. It's going to be pretty sweet. Now, this one is also the first GT in our 5-event series, the Risky Rollers Championship Series, which will culminate with the Risky Rollers Open at the end of the series. It's 3 GTs and 2 RTTs, so 5 events in total. Each event will run as a standalone thing, so you can actually go to any event and play as you would at a normal tournament, still be eligible for our normal swathe of prizes and so forth. It's all ITC ranked, all the normal things. But then, if you attend multiple of them, you get ranked against all the other players who attend multiple of them on your performance, strength schedule, and so on. The winner of that will be crowned the Risky Rollers Champion for 2023 and receive a grand total of $2,000 cash as a grand prize. So make sure to get around those.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You should get around it.
Yeah, it's good. We're excited for that one. They're going to be just a whole series of premium events, and we're really keen for that one. Same thing as with the Infiltration. The play pack for that will be up as soon as the podcast is over, publicly everywhere, and is already available. Tickets are on Dice Arcade, and the play pack's in our Discord. Check it out. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
With all of that out of the way, let's go on, talk about all of the recent events and things that we've been at, and a couple of news. Nice little transition. It's good. Classy. Good stuff, Lawrence. I appreciate it. All right. So, news and
like stopping at a red light. We're all supposed to change seats.
Yeah. We jump around. It's really confusing.
Remove a piece of clothing.
Easy.
So news and stuff, new releases. There's not a whole lot of new stuff being revealed. There's some new Age of Sigmar stuff, some new Warcry stuff. The T-shirt cannon Space Marines are coming out next week, I think. They're up for pre-order.
Don't think anyone cares.
So if you want to get some T-shirt cannons, good stuff.
Nope. No one cares.
And then if you're interested in the best game that Games Workshop makes, Blood Bowl 3 is coming out, has already out, and you can definitely get that and get amongst it.
Video game, right?
Video game, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's literally Blood Bowl 2022 season, or 2020 season, the new current edition, as a video game. It's amazing. It's good to play.
I don't understand why they do that.
Well, it's so that you can play you can play the board game without needing to go out somewhere and organize to meet someone and do all the scheduling. Yeah. You can just log on and play the board game.
But why would...
It's about the crossover. So you've got people that play video games, and then they get introduced to Blood Bowl, and then they realize there's miniatures involved. I
don't reckon it correlates that much, because the people that are into video games aren't into turn-based games.
That's fair.
If they did like a Madden version, where it's like a real-time like sport game, they would attract the whole sport market potentially, and then get a correlation there. I find it very weird why they make video games in the same format that the actual game exists.
That's fair. But if you play Blood Bowl or tabletop games in general, it's an amazing game.
Well, there you go.
Well, it is, because again, like,
well, that's something like I can't speak to. I haven't played it.
But like, if you could play a completely automated version of 40K on a computer with someone else, just live, but you didn't have to organize a game and paint models, pretty cool.
That would do it. The whole point is moving physical models. Like that's the literal point of rolling dice and physically doing it,
and actually having that interaction with your mates.
Fair enough.
Like if you could do like a live action version, like an RTS, like Dawn of War, which was amazing. You know, like that Dawn of War 1. Yeah. You know, great, loved it, played the shit out of it. You know, so I don't know.
Well, anyway, look, Blood Bowl 3 is out. I'm keen to get around it. It's pretty cool. And then as far as events and stuff go, there is one that we just went to, trying to think of any others that we actually want to mention before we go into that. I don't think so. There's a teams event in Brisbane next weekend that people are going to. Yeah. We'll get around to ARC.
It's in Brisbane. That's right.
As far as
there's something in Brisbane.
But yeah, so over the weekend, Lawrence and I, as well as Ed, who you'll know from the channel, attended the Strength in Numbers RTT run by the Ratcon boys over in Ballarat.
Well, it has it. You guys did all right.
Yeah, we did all right. So we got our placings up there. We were Team Frisky Rollers, which was Lawrence.
That's so cool. Frisky Rollers, yes, I love
which
that.
was Lawrence, Dean, Jez, and myself, and we took out first place with
well done.
So 4 wins and a draw.
4 players.
Four
players on a team. Yep.
Nice.
Sweet.
So Lawrence can come around here whenever he feels like it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, you guys got a trophy.
Quite well. Got fancy, snazzy little things.
You've
He
lost
dropped your
this.
thing again. He dropped that when getting off the stage at the event too. So
well done, fellas.
yeah, that's pretty
Well
cool.
done. Well done, guys.
Thank you, Lawrence. Lawrence played really well, playing knights, good stuff. Yeah, it was a good event. Second place was.
Well, you went 4-1 too.
I went 4-1.
You went 4-1.
It was good.
Did you get 5-0? No.
Went 3-2.
Oh, yeah, Reese. Yeah, so yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It was a pretty good event. So yeah, second was White and Clan from SA. And then the third place was I Can't Believe It's Not Meta, which was Reese Cunningham's team from down in Geelong, who we played in the final round. For the win.
Nice.
Well done to everyone who attended. Well done to all the teams that went as well. Shout out to the Geelong boys round 1. As far as I understand, it was their first time, like all the players, they're coming to a tournament. So it was a pretty rough experience for them.
Oh, well, that's really. And they played you guys.
They played us round 1. It was a bloodbath.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What? No way.
Yeah, it was bad.
Jesus Christ.
But they genuinely all great guys, and we had a great time playing them. And then what was it, round 3 or round 4 was the other SA boys? Yeah, we played the SA boys. Round 3, yeah. So no, I think it was round 4 because we had all the prep the night before.
Round 4.
Yeah, round 4. So shout out to all the SA boys there as well. That was a great round.
Cool.
Yeah, so no, that was a good one. A nice little teams tournament there.
Sick.
Wow.
Killing it.
Of course it was nice, you. Silverware.
Yeah, no, that was good. But shout out, thanks to all the Ratcon boys for running that one, Michael and everyone down there. It was good. I think that
Excellent.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up all of the big news and bits and pieces. So we can move on to our main topic here today. The reason we brought Dan along. Locky looks like he wants to say something.
No, I'm just like,
he's just
I'm like,
grinning
he's
at me.
here.
He's just-
like, let's get him talking.
He's just priming himself.
Yeah.
So let's move on and talk about that one.
Cool.
There's a bit of black screen there.
Oh, too fast.
Too fast.
All right, that's all right.
Cool.
Let's
Okay,
go.
cool. It's fine. It's fine.
Nobody will notice. It's fine.
As long as we don't call it out and talk about it for
Yeah,
minutes in the podcast, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next weekend is ARC40K, the 25th year this event has run.
Yes, correct.
And you're one of the TOs this year.
Yes,
One
I'm
of the
pretty much the
organisers.
head organizer. So,
Do you want to tell us a bit about what ARC is and how you've been involved?
yep. That's a long story how you've been involved. I guess ARC40K it's basically just a hobby event, really. 1,350 points, 140,000. Come along and enjoy your weekend, I guess. So we've got a couple hundred people signed up, which is good. But yeah, the focus of the event's always been about just having some fun, chilling out with your mates. A lot of lifelong friendships seem to get made there. I mean, I know a lot of my close mates. That's where I met them in the prep time in the years gone past. Even guys like the Legends and Law guys that we all know, they met there. So even the organizer before me met one of his good mates at one of the first times he went.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it seems to be like a traditional thing that mates go and make that pilgrimage to go and have some fun with their Barbies or their dollies, we call them. Yeah,
It seems
and
like
away
something
they go.
been, like it is an institution of 40K in Australia in
Yeah.
general. I remember years and years ago back when I would once or twice a year get into the Games Workshop up in Broadbeach in Gold Coast.
Yep.
Every now and again there'd be someone coming along there who was prepping for ARC and doing stuff for ARC.
Yeah, we've got a couple of dedicated guys from Queensland, so there's a bit of a crew. The
Yeah.
chat starts, it's a funny little chat with them, and it starts with like 10, 15 guys, and then slowly over the months it whittles down to the 4 or 5 that rock up. So it's good. No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good that they're interested and that they want to make the pilgrimage down, I guess, to go interstate for any hobby event is a big deal. So,
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
So we're really appreciative of it.
Yeah. And I don't want to understand how massive that is, because like,
oh, absolutely.
In the more competitive side of things, where there's like, you know, prize money and ITC points stuff on the line, it's sort of people make the distance and the travel a lot more readily. But coming down for a hobby event where it's you go to purely enjoy the event, really, also than get anything out of it per se,
it is
really nice.
It is. It's quite challenging as an organizer too. You know what I mean, because you're humbled by it because someone's putting their faith in you to run something that's actually going to be fun for them. But at the same time, you know, you want to make sure it's a good experience for them. Yeah. So, but yeah.
So you were saying before when we were talking, you kind of inherited this.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, we talked about it's been going for 25 years. We've sort of made a big deal of it. So I sort of went along in 2001 was my first year. And I took an Iron Hands army.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Painted an Iron Hands army. 3 10-man tactical squads with
Terminators?
With Terminators. Because of the White Dwarf article came out and I was like, got to do that. Yeah. And then got smashed 6 ways from Sunday. Anyway, won't worry about that. Yeah. So
that was 2001.
That was 2001.
So that's what? 4th edition? No, third. Third
was 98. So
that was would have been 12 years before I even heard what 140K was.
So that was when I'd been in the hobby for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Around
Sweet.
Then.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just take my walking frame and get out here later. No. Yeah. So I've been to every one since. So every year we'd paint an army for it. As everyone sort of, you've seen them all over the internet at the moment, they're doing it.
Speaking of which, that's all on the ARC40K Instagram page, right?
On the Instagram, they put it every Wednesday. We've been doing our ARC Army Challenge.
Work in progress
posts.
Wednesday style thing.
Sort of style working.
I've been following it on, I don't remember if it's Instagram or Facebook where I've been watching them, but seeing all the armies just coming along is really cool.
Yes.
People are doing some cool stuff.
So I love the way people embrace it from that perspective. So we've been doing it. I went as a player for 10 years, which I mentioned to you. Built an army every year. And then in 2011, Mark Morrison, who used to run the event, he basically invited me out for coffee. And one morning I was working in the city and just hit me up and basically said, do you want to run it next year?
He won and dined you.
Pretty much. As much as didn't buy a coffee. Didn't do anything, just sat there and went, do you want to do it? And I went, like walked out going,
what do you mean?
You know, here, have this. What do I want it for? No. And then, so then you just sort of start, like he did give me a document of all the stuff they did. And you sort of look at it and you know some of the stuff as a player, what was happening. And essentially said, do what you want with it. So that first year was just like, it was huge. It was like, just try and keep up. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't sure whether 5 people would show up or whether because 2 years before I took over, they had 200 players in 2010. So we were like, is anyone going to show up? Like, are they going to have faith in the transition or are they just going to fall away? And anyway, by that point in time, I'd run a few tournaments in the community anyway. We ran an East Con out in Ringwood, and I'd run a couple of grand tournaments for GW. I had some experience in running tournaments, but nothing.
It was back in Games Day fame.
It was the early, it was early 2000, 2005, 2006, I think, somewhere there. I ran some stuff at Games Days too.
Games Days was sick.
Yeah.
Box Hill one. I used to go to the Box Hill one all the time. Yeah.
The conflict in Box Hill.
I
ran the 40K.
Dude, it was sick.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but I thought
won that like 2 or 3 times.
Wow. On the way over, I was thinking I'll mention that because that was like a big thing, and I was like, no one will remember.
Nah, they were mad. They were really cool.
The only Games Day interaction I have is that 2013 when I got into it, I got a White Dwarf when Dark Vengeance came out.
Yeah.
There was an article in that about Games Day 2012, the year before, it was in Australia.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll keep an eye on when that happens next.
That was the last one.
Yeah, they don't do it.
And of course, 13-year-old me was like, well, I don't know how to check the internet and see if it's something actually happening. I just got to wait and see if it comes out in a White Dwarf sometime.
But Games Days are slightly different when you're on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're mental. So, so I had some experience, and that first year was just it was a whirlwind, to be honest, because you're trying to organise stuff, and then we end up having about 160 odd people.
Nice.
In 2012, and I'd become a father in the end of 2011.
What a time to do it.
Yeah, I missed Game 6 of 2011 because my son was born.
Yeah, nice.
So I had this whole lead up of just not knowing what was to expect. So, and then we just sort of rolled from there. We broke away from the role-playing convention where we were in about 2014.
So is that location?
Oh, originally, ARC40K, where it gets its name, is from Arcanicon, which was a role-playing convention.
Okay,
which was in Collingwood College on Hoddle Street.
Yeah, right.
And basically over time, the role-playing element kind of was weaning off a bit at the time, and ours was going up. So we were like, well, we're going to go find our own space.
Yeah, gotcha.
Do your own thing.
Do our own thing. So yeah, we've been doing our own thing since 2015. So, but yeah, it's going along well. We've got the dedicated following is continuing, so which is good.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's what you want. People coming along, having a good time, enjoying the hobby.
That's exactly what it's about. Do you know what I mean? And that's the sort of mindset we have when we go about it. Like when we start planning, is what are we going to do to have a good time and have fun with your mates, I guess. So, yeah.
Oh, cheers. I'm eyeing up Lawrence. Is that something that needs to be put up on screen? No, he's just testing stuff. He's teasing us.
Cut.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's
So
basically how
with
I
the, because the format's quite different, right? So
Yes.
for anyone, I guess, who doesn't know, right, I think you touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
That it's what people would say a comp or a and I like the fact that at the beginning you called it an event, not a tournament.
Yes.
I think that's a good, very clear, and it's a good distinction to have that I think needs to come back into the sort of public vocab,
especially with competitive play becoming such a public and such a growing and forward-facing area.
Yeah,
you don't want people to have mixed ideas about what sort of event they're attending.
Yeah. I would not disagree with that.
Yeah.
It's something that it's been going around for years, tournament, hobby event, that sort of stuff. But we try and only use the words hobby event as much as we can. Because we feel it represents what we do.
It's hard to do it all the time.
Oh, it is. But we feel like it represents what we do better than a tournament.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, especially now when that's sort of scene, the ITC competitive scene is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about where it all came from, we're back in '99, even before I was there. GW released a tournament system for competitive play.
Yeah, right.
Called Rogue Trader.
And which isn't confusing at all, considering the
they
first
had
edition of the game was Rogue Trader.
The first one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was called the Rogue Trader tournament system. But anyway,
it was RTT comes from.
Yeah, it was a
really
Rogue Trader tournament. Yeah.
Is that what it actually means?
RTT is Rogue Trader tournament. It's that one-day tournament style.
Horrified. What it no, and that basically had battle, sports, comp.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the origin of that soft score style.
So that was originally from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I thought that was like more of a community. I mean, pure assumption, but I just assumed that was a community-driven thing.
No, that was straight from Jervis Johnson. Mate.
Yeah, right.
Jarvis Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was played at CanCon, and Mark Morrison went there and had it played in this tournament and loved it so much. Because the original ARC was like 9 guys at a role-playing convention playing with toy soldiers. Do you know what I mean? So they were all about just have some fun, roll
the story or like, you know, these mad moments.
Yeah. And that's when he's sort of amalgamated that with the Rogue Trader system and just trying to tell stories and engage people. So, that's where a lot of it comes from is when I took over, you can go either way. Do you know what I mean? But for mine, that's what I loved about the event. So I was like, well, we're going to keep those, and then we keep the veterans. We kept some of the other traditions with music and some of that sort of jazz, and added a Hall of Fame in 2012 themselves.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, that's where the soft score part comes from.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So for anyone who's not entirely sure of what we're talking about, we say soft scores.
I hate that term, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you have a better term for them?
I do not. That's why I'm not saying it. That's why I'm calling them soft scores, mate. I don't have a better term.
You should just come up with one and claim it.
Like,
make like it's an ARC score or something. This is what it is. Like
hobby score or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so for anyone who's not familiar with the term, you go to a tournament, and you've got your score, your wins, losses, and then your battle points that sort of come in under that, as far as usually what's priority of score, right? If you get 2 wins and someone gets 1 win and a loss, but they score more points, 2 wins are still better. And that's sort of your basic score structure. And then a lot of tournaments and events will use a system of other things called soft scores or something else, which will take into account other factors, things like sportsmanship scores, things like painting scores. So not just is it battle ready, do you get your 10 points, but actual like how well painted is it, how thematic is it. Then there was another one which I'm gonna actually ask your opinion on this a bit later, but like a composition score that was like how how badly written was your list in a way that was thematic, if that makes sense. As in, people,
so like if you were playing White Scars, were you taking all blacks? Sort of
exactly,
like
yeah.
or
Similar,
if you,
yeah.
Along,
I think
that's the gist, right? That's the
but then
concept.
and we'll talk about it a bit later on because there's some contention around the way that works because sometimes when thematic lists are really good, some TOs would then penalise them just for taking a good list.
Never really
even
thought
if it was that
theme was involved in it. But anyway.
And then
sportsmanship,
painting,
and composition. And then we still have battle.
And then you still got your normal battle points and stuff.
Yeah.
And a bunch of different events will run them in different proportions. So I know Geelong Heresy, I think, runs them battle points are half of it, and then all 3 are the other half.
I don't know.
So
they run a very weird thing.
Yeah. The point is, Geelong Heresy is our main interaction with that system before now.
Yeah.
And basically it results in you end up with a best general as an award, but it's purely sort of one part of the overall champion of an event.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what soft scores are.
Yeah.
They're sort of things that aren't related to playing the game. They're hobby related and personal interaction related things. So
That's a very nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, ARC uses.
Yes, we do. We actually have sportsmanship rated the same as battle.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of the traditions that we've kept from.
Actually, you know what? It's a really good point. We'll go into that one specifically to start with then.
Yeah, cool.
So they're a pretty contentious thing in a lot of competitive circles. I know we've got differing opinions on them in the room here. Definitely not looking pointedly at anybody.
Is that always down that end of the camera?
Yeah.
From my take on it is no right or wrong.
Yeah,
to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
at the end of the day,
ways
if a TO is running an event, they run it the way they want, and if people want to go to that event, that's good. People clearly want that event.
Exactly.
You can't argue with success. Right?
Yeah. Well, not just that, but also it's one thing we've found over the years about having soft scores.
Yeah.
Is it makes the event a little bit more accessible to people that aren't necessarily the hardcore gamer.
Yeah, or competitively driven or whatever.
Yeah. But when they show up, they still get a chance to win prizes, to win even the event overall. But it doesn't also exclude then the people that just want to come along and just
play hard.
Yeah.
So they're still welcome. They still get some of the biggest prizes too.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's a place for both. So, and I think it's really great that we have both styles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously the non-comp sort of style isn't really my style because I haven't grown up on it. When you play it for 10 years, because as I said, back in the day when everybody was playing Road Trader, even the fierce tournaments had composition sportsmanship.
Yeah.
It just sort of, as time evolved, the system sort of split up a bit. So we're pretty much the only ones that still probably run similar to what we were doing back in. So
I think as well one of the key things is separating where and why it is involved based on like the type of event that it is. Yeah. So and the problem I think that's been in previous, not with you guys, but just events overall, and this is across the world. This isn't necessarily relegated to Australia, where you'll have events or tournaments or whatever you want to call it that will label it as a competitive thing and include those things, which can be skewed in ways. And then you get this misconception between like, well, what are we actually comparing here? Or like, well, where's the actual differential point between how good of a player I am to how good of a player you are?
It all comes back down to what is the event trying to measure?
Yeah.
Like, because a tournament or an event is essentially, you're measuring who is the best at something. And it's the same, like there's an issue of submarining that comes up every now and again when you get Swiss paired tournaments.
Yeah.
Where someone can sort of win, but win small, so they don't play good players until the last round. Yeah. And it's sort of like, well, then if the tournament allows that to happen, they're not measuring who's the best at playing 40K. They're measuring who's the best at playing this tournament system. Yeah. And which is all well and good. But it's interesting to go, well, what is the tournament measuring? And what's the best way to do that? And go, well, a tournament, a competitive 40K event, in our opinion at least, and sort of should measure how good someone is at playing the game of 40K in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then so an event like ARC, where you're running these soft scores, isn't trying to go, who's the best person at playing this game of 40K.
We've been trying for years to avoid that kind of...
And I think that's what makes it so... it's what works for you guys, and what makes it nice and clear is the fact that it doesn't have that that it does have that separation.
Yeah, but when you do talk about comp, though, there is that point where that's such an ambiguous... When you talk about what they're trying to measure and
of course,
it's such an ambiguous topic.
It is,
because it basically comes down to what two blokes think.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing we've tried to avoid by we relabeled it like how fun it was the army to play against. Like, did you have a good time playing the guy's army, or did you just build it to smash the shit out of you?
Yeah.
Because we're trying to promote that gaming experience.
So that's part of the composition score, is it?
Yeah, we're calling it a composition score. We don't call it composition though.
Yeah. Okay.
So like,
Gotcha.
that's
what you mean by that. Yeah. And that's different to the sportsmanship, right? Where the sportsman is just purely is the dude a dick or not, right?
Yeah. And we have the loose rules about, did he roll behind the buildings?
Yeah. Okay.
Did he use a rubber ruler? Did he?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Was he vague with the rules?
And I mean, look, the only other with the sportsmanship one, it's weird because one of the things that I think, or the most powerful things, or one of the strongest things about it, is it can cause the people that might be intentionally dishonest to be more honest, even in a situation where it is a hyper competitive event. Finding how to, and this is not so much for the events that you run, but kind of extrapolating it to the highly competitive event, where I think there needs to be a measurement of sportsmanship, but how to do it is the tough one, because
as soon as you don't make it a high stakes game,
you also don't want it to be like a little tick box thing.
Exactly. Did anyone do it? Because then no one cares, right?
Or the guy rocks up the table and goes, I need to roll in front of people. Yep. And I need to, that's exactly.
Yeah. And then you can mitigate the fun feel. And it's a very complicated thing. I think but at the same time, you can mitigate the sportsmanship by having adjudication, tables being watched, stuff like that. That's one of the things that we're going to be implementing at our GT, the top tables for us, because it correlates specifically to potentially winning $2,000 at the end.
Well, like we're going to have
the top tables are going to be watched.
We'll have judges on each
specific
top table
judge,
and so on, specifically for those.
And that's another way that you can, that it, I guess, correlates to sportsmanship. But it's one of those things, I think, that the sportsmanship,
unfortunately,
can be quite valuable. As well, across the board, it can be quite valuable.
But it's not a given to rock up and just be a nice guy, though.
Which is so
in an ideal world, we'd all love it.
It's toy soldiers, guys. Like, come on, like, really.
But then you put your $2,000 on the table, you're like, oh, hang on.
It's only $2,000. Jeez, it's not $200,000. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's $2 million. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I get it. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one. It really is.
So well, I guess like you said, it's all about how you manage it, though. Like if whatever system you've got to be prepared to. And one of the things like that I like about the sportsmanship we run is that it's very non-confrontational.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy the game or not enjoy the game, and you give them a sort of a loose score on the chart, and you don't have to have someone come over with a flag or a card or whatever, and actually get in someone's face and then start a.
Have you had that before?
Not since I've been running it. We've had some altercations with people, but generally people are pretty chill when they come along to have a good time.
Yeah.
Because they're more interested, and I think this is, I guess, partly to do with the way we've structured things.
Yeah, the culture that you sort of built
and the culture that's now there is that people just want to come along and have a good time, and like a lot of the guys are talking about, I just want to hang out with you after the game and hear the story. Of the game. And that's from a multiple different angles because we've got different missions. I don't know if you've seen the ones we've been putting up online, but and we've got nearly all the missions from the last probably 15 or 16 years almost on the website, and some of them are just wacky.
Because they're custom, right? You run them all yourselves,
So the guys don't know what they're going to play when they rock up to the table, and then they've sort of got to approach it in open mind. So that's removing that controversy and that confrontation is really helpful, I guess, when you're trying to create that atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure.
So, especially around trying to not be hyper competitive about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that like the culture that you've built is very clear. Like it seems like you've had a very clear goal with the culture and the mindset and the product and the brand you've tried to build over the last, since you've taken control anyway, at least, and building upon what's worked. And it seems like, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it, right? Like,
absolutely.
So if it's working, it's working. I do have one question.
Sure.
1350.
Yep.
What the fuck is that about? Like, I'm all for building. Why the fuck 1350?
All right. Originally, it was 1,200 points.
Still,
okay.
That's almost just as weird. That's still a weird division of points.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
The reason, all right. Back then, though, 1,500 points was your
huge. Yeah,
huge,
true,
right?
True,
and that
true,
was your
true.
like your
which
tournament
these
standard.
days will probably be about 1,000 points worth of models because model points are getting cheaper and you get more.
Exactly. Well, essentially, what we're trying to do is not necessarily. Well, if you have to restricting the points limit means you've got to think about what you're taking.
Yep.
Okay. So again, that sort of plays into that composition. We've got like a standard number like your 2,000 points.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to find lists
Yeah.
of 2,000 points. And fit all what you want in it and all that sort of stuff.
Well, we've had that
Yeah,
discussion
and that's
before
why
between 1,500 and 2,000 and going 1,500. I think I've said it before, and I don't know how well you agree on it or not, but 1,500 is a much more interesting size of
even
game.
1,750. Even playing at 250 less is huge.
Because you've got to make a decision on what you're taking out
Yeah.
of that optimal list. And then all of a sudden that used to be all we used to talk about when we were play testing as mates in the garage. We've got 1,500 points, which is what everybody else was playing throughout the year.
Yeah.
What are we going to do for ARC when we've got to take 300 points out? It's a whole unit.
Yeah.
Which one am I taking out? Am I taking out 2 and then adding something different? And you're not knowing what you're going to play either, so you're trying
Really
to
gotta
build
make the
something
decisions.
that's got a bit of everything.
Yeah, so you're trying to put more ownership or more responsibility back on the live general decision rather than the pre-decisions in list construction.
Absolutely.
And stuff.
Yeah. And that challenges people.
Yeah.
A lot. So, but yeah, it's like, that's the way to describe it. Like, it's the way, I guess, we've always done it, isn't it?
So I fully appreciate and get the making the points smaller. It's just the 13. I don't understand the 1350.
To be honest with you,
why not 1250 or 1,000, 1250 or 1,500?
I don't have a firm answer for you on that. On 1350. We're never going to go the 2,000.
Yeah.
Right? No. I can fully appreciate that. Yeah.
So we were looking for the number at somewhere between 1350, obviously, and probably 1,600 odd.
Yeah.
But the main driving force behind 1350, I think this year was it's our 25th year. And we're going to have a lot of people come along that are, like, we've got guys that are coming that haven't been for 5 years that came 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we don't know what their 9th skills are like. And we don't want them to rock up at a table and try and play a 2-hour game in 2 hours, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we're not prepped for it.
Yeah. And that's the other side of it, and that's one of the reasons why it was always smaller, was it gives people a chance to play a relaxed game in that time frame. Yeah. And also we fit the 6 games in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
right. Okay. Yeah.
But how that looks in the future, we reassess every year.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We've got people asking us for 5 games because it's, they want to be able to get away earlier. And
6 games is still a lot. Even if you are playing smaller, 6 games is a lot.
The other area it sort of plays into is people who are building new armies for the event. Is you've got a smaller army that you can really build and paint an army that is like gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that's what happens every year.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
yeah. No, fair enough. That makes sense. So what?
And it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different.
It doesn't hurt to be different.
So what do you reckon? 1465?
You heard it here first.
No, 1001. Right? It's 1001.
But you must
You have to bring
1001.
None of this. No, 1002.
Yeah.
No.
1003 is right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. And then you got that one. You got your custom missions, which are some of them are quite interesting as far as you got looking through the previous few years. Some of them are very basic, like, all right, kill stuff.
Yep.
Walk out there, kill your opponent. And some of them are interesting with, like, you've got objectives and different things you got to try and accomplish.
Yes. We've toned down the whack as we go.
Yeah.
How
so
wacky
sort of
they go.
try and just turn up.
And
both sides of it.
that evolved with the editions though.
Yeah.
Some of the older ones in 3rd and 4th edition, like I remember them, like at the time I was like, this is kind of fun, but then in hindsight you're like,
that's a terrible mission.
What is going on with that?
Yeah.
We had bouncing sheep one year. Where you have the objectives would bounce around, and now I look at it, you're probably going, the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. At the time, we're like, this is pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Back in the anyway. Yeah. So, but that leads you to like, an objective where the mission where the objective moves.
A moving objective. Yeah.
That's an interesting concept. How can we play on that a bit? And that always challenges people.
Yeah.
I mean, mission design in and of itself is one of the hardest things from a game design point as well. Like we're taking away Games Workshop's way of doing it, but like as a game design sort of concept in terms of the design and the mechanics of how a mission work that have to correlate to how the current game system works. It's a very hard task. And to go, we need to design 6, even if it takes you 12 months, it's still, you had 15 people working on it for 12 months. It's still really, really hard to make like really quality missions.
Yeah.
I know. No, I'm not saying that you haven't. I'm not saying that you haven't. But it's just from my experience working in games, it's a really difficult challenge.
I don't do a lot of that, to be honest. Ben does it, but he's pretty across it.
Yeah.
Like he's well into weekly 40K. So
yeah.
But I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard.
Making a mission that's balanced, even across editions, for the times I have done it, is very challenging.
And the armies too. Like, looking at all the different factions and armies.
Just trying to make sure they'll all play to each other.
Yeah.
Really,
you don't want to make a mission that half the people they will have a great time on because it only plays it, and the other half like not only may they have not built a list to do it, but their army book can't play it.
Yeah. I mean the playtesting structure alone.
Yeah.
Like if you on your back end as a designer would just take so long. Like just be like, well, we need to play it. If I'm as Harley's, what if I go first? What if this happens here? Again, and then like rinse and repeat. Do it with this other army, and then I'd be like,
And you have to think worst case scenario.
Yeah,
you can't
best, and
you can't. Yeah, because one thing I always sort of think about is, all right, if this is what we're trying to do, right? I'm not the what do you call it, the outlier.
Yeah.
The guy that's going to take it to the extreme.
Yeah, you're not going to try and game it.
No.
Yeah.
But then you're thinking, so what if I did try and game it? Because I
Yeah.
know someone's going to try and
try and break it. Yeah.
And then you make decisions and rules about it, and then
Because people don't
understand it either.
People do it all the time. Like even within 40K all the time, and try and find ways to. I mean, what Matty Chima did that with the Tzeentch Demons thing. All right, so you know what I'm talking about?
Which one was that?
So one where it was to do with some weird rules jank where he could get Tzeentch Demons with. Oh, sorry. It was Flamers with a non-Tzeentch army to do with Abaddon or CSM.
You can take them.
No, but this was a weird rules interaction thing, and just like.
Oh, do you mean you could try and get like the CSM +2 to Flamers or something?
I don't know. Can't remember. All I know was this Matty Chima did a thing. Exactly that was like going to the nth degree of actually rules is written. This is legit, and like they'll gamers, especially more so in video games.
Yeah.
But obviously, when they break something, it's broken.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll always do it.
Yeah. If you have to take your argument with you, as to why it's like that,
yeah,
you probably shouldn't be doing
it. Yeah, but I mean, like,
do you know what I mean?
Also, if your system, as in, I don't mean your system, but the system that's designed isn't robust enough to stop that, then it needs to be a better design system, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's a failure on the designers as well. Like, even in that example, when Games Workshop was like, well, no, they should have something better in place because their QA process should have found that themselves and gone, oh, I don't know.
I mean, but part of that in this case is just like TOs like yourself and like what we do is walking around and someone goes, oh, but I can do. Like, yeah, come on, mate. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, there is.
There needs to be a limit where the TO does step in and go, actually, no, don't be a dick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah,
absolutely.
Well, it's good that you don't get a lot of that though.
Yeah. So, we do promote the 4+ rules query between players.
4+ rules,
like
in like
roll a dice too.
Right, yeah.
4+ it.
Okay.
Because we're not playing for Sheep Station. If you guys agree on how it's played, I don't really care if it's played the same across every table.
We agree. Like, I think that's a great resolution point as well.
Otherwise, you spend your whole day with 100 tables going around going, are you playing this rule?
Yeah.
But
also as well,
like both players are happy.
Yeah, exactly right.
And with that, it also makes the other player, keeps them honest. So for example, like if you and I playing, we both agreed to it, then halfway through you start playing differently. Like, hold on, mate, we agreed. Like, this is your words. This isn't my words against yours. This is your words against you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've agreed to it.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about?
And then they go the other way where they're like exploiting. Like, damn it, why didn't I realize that was going to happen?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, but that's the role that's the dice roll, right?
Yeah,
that's
what we do. So, you can't complain about that one.
Could one say it's the risk when you roll?
Yay!
Good night. I'm here all week.
Yep.
So look, look, it's been really good to have you on, and I'm really excited to come down next week.
Yes, we're excited to have you guys because you guys are coming down.
So there is
pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about all the cool stuff that's happening next week, because next week is 25 years of ARC40K. In case we haven't mentioned that.
Yep. This Saturday it all goes off.
Saturday it's gonna be sweet.
Monday.
So,
yep.
Sorry.
It is Monday.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. So this Saturday and Sunday it's gonna be pretty sweet. Yep. Now we're involved with the streaming side of that one a little bit. We're gonna. I'm booked in to be a player in the event.
Yep.
And I'll be on stream a couple of days there. So we'll be
playing on the main table.
Yep. So
live stream table.
Pretty cool. And then we've got Locky will be a roaming interviewer cruising around there. He's been chatting to everyone.
Looking forward to that. I am.
It's good. I almost don't want to play so I can go and watch him do that. It'll be amazing.
When Steve pitched it to me, I watched a couple of videos like, this It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to see what happens. So
I think Steve, because we had a chat about it when you guys were talking to me.
Yep.
And Steve was like, "Oh, I've been wanting to get someone to do this," and I'm like, "You want Locky? Like,
Oh yeah.
This is the person you want for this."
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be great. I like it.
So you can watch the live stream that I'll be on. Locky will be on, and we'll have Lawrence helping produce and stuff behind there. And that'll be hosted over on another channel down here in Melbourne, the Legends and Law Boys.
Yes, the Legends and Law guys.
So you will have seen both Locky and myself on their channel, and Locky playing one of them on ours. And there's some other fun stuff happening there as well. But you get to see that hosted on their channel, and we'll be showing clips and bits and pieces on ours as well.
Yeah.
Starting next Saturday morning.
Yes, I'm not sure what time they're kicking off, but they're going to do more than just obviously the game.
Yep.
Well, they're going to have their centre table live streamed, which they'll have guests like yourself and some of their own guys on.
Yep.
They're going to obviously have Locky roaming, like we've talked about. Trying to find the action in the hall.
I'll find it. And if not, I'll make it. Don't worry.
That's all right. So it's all about that player experience and getting them on the camera, I guess, now. No, it's not. No. But there'll be plenty of it. Like, there'll be laughing and carrying on all over the place. And they're also going to be interviewing during the rounds as well as doing some work with the ARC Open, which is our painting comp next door. Yep. So they'll have all our special guests on. So we can have a chat about them now if you want.
So
that's where we're going.
There are going to be a bunch of special guests.
Yeah, a bunch of special guests.
At ARC.
Our first international special guest,
I'm excited for that.
Which is Emil and Lucas from the Squidmar Miniatures YouTube channel.
They'll be attending the event.
Judging the painting competition. They're judging the painting competition, and they're going to judge the TO's Choice Awards.
Oh, very nice.
Us. So they're going to have a walk around all the armies and tell us which minis they like best.
Pretty cool.
That's the term we've got to use, minis. They love that word.
Yeah.
Every time I speak to them, it's all about minis.
Not models?
No, I love it. So, they're great. They're really fun guys to chat to.
Yeah.
And they just want to come out and talk to people.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's surreal. Everyone we've spoken to about coming along as, like, guests and things, their biggest focus point has been, can we just talk to people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
Yeah.
We're going to keep you locked in a glass box on stage.
That's
you stay there.
I mean, also, that would be super funny. It would be like, you can't get out.
Yeah. Just stay there. Don't move. Yeah. So they'll basically be wandering around in a live environment, I guess. And if people come along, they can come and have a look and chat to them and
sweet.
They want to engage. We've also got Victoria Lamb coming over from Victoria Miniatures in South Australia.
Does some fantastic minis.
Yes.
I'm really keen for that.
Yes. So she's got a couple of Kickstarters going on. She had one with the Rattlings.
No.
She calls them something else.
The nondescript short snipers for
some kind of abhuman thing.
Abhumans.
Copyright sensitive.
And she's going to come along and obviously do the judging next door as well.
Yep.
She's a Golden Demon winner from way back.
Yeah.
Her stuff is currently on display in Warhammer World.
It's the Mordheim one, right?
Yeah, the saving.
I can't believe.
So
when
cool.
when I looked up her stuff through, obviously knowing that she was coming for you guys, it's like, I remember that White Dwarf coming out and seeing that going. That was like one of my favorite diorama pieces for so long. Of the dude, there with the holding the fire on the wall. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, what? I didn't even know.
It's ridiculous.
That's amazing.
And then the next year she did one with the two flamers on the killer can, the Seraphim.
Oh yeah.
Same sort of deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was when Sisters
we had
got
Games Days. Yes.
Yeah. But that was also when I think Witch Hunters had just got a new release, right?
Oh, it would have been around the time.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah.
And that was also way before people really did that OSL kind of effect.
Yeah.
Now it's like airbrushes and everyone's just doing.
Well, this is well before the airbrush generation, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, it is. Yeah. So she's come along. She's excited again. She wants to just talk to people.
Yeah.
Because she normally goes to Adepticon. So she's coming over to us first. I don't know if she's going to Adepticon.
That's in the States, right?
Yeah. It's a big one in the States. And she goes over there to just talk to them about all the things that are going on. And getting feedback about what she's doing. So. Yeah,
cool.
She's going to come and do it here in Melbourne instead, which is cool.
Sweet.
And then we've got Tabletop Time.
Yep, they've been doing a video series.
They're doing the video series at the moment on the table that House of War have commissioned from them.
Yeah.
And
pretty epic. A Warlord Titan and 3 Reavers going into it or something?
Something like that. Last one video I watched, he cut the Warlord in half.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
it's an expensive board.
Yeah. So that's all right. I think that's half the point of it. Yeah. So no, it's all good. It's going to be, from what I've seen of the videos and
it's going to be an epic looking board.
Cheeky pics on the messenger, and they're just looking smashing. So that's going to be a feature table in the middle, like next to the Legends and Lore stuff. We've got a bit of a feature area where all the Legends and Lore terrain will be, and it's going to be in there so people can come and actually get a close up look.
Yes.
But they'll be Dave, Jen, and Murray are coming in. We're going to hang out and.
I'm keen to meet those guys and have a chat to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they just want to come meet the people as well.
Yeah.
So I think they want to have a sneaky chat with Goodmar as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure everyone does.
Yeah, I know. Let's see what he's got going on. Who else have we got? We've got a whole bunch of the sponsors are going to be there. Cameron from Epic Basing.
Yep.
You guys.
Yeah.
Let's always mention you guys because I'm sitting on your couch. And a couple of guys from the Crimson Brush, which is a painting.
Painting studio, right?
No, it's a painting competition. It's a display model painting competition.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah. So
with like specific anything.
Well, they mostly do busts and larger figures.
Oh, right.
They're like the insane painters.
Yeah.
But part of the ARC Open is to sort of bring that style of painting back down to the miniature level.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So our point of difference is we're at the 28mm. One of our preferred categories. So, and a lot of them have embraced it and have started to paint some figures for that size. So, which is good.
Yeah, cool.
I might have to nix that extra unit for the Inari and paint up a Carl for the painting competition.
Yeah, you can do that too. So yeah, that's exciting. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's always good to see 28mm figures painted amazingly.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Try and do it, don't we?
We all want to get the results. We just don't want to put in the thousands of hours to get there, I think.
No, I hear you. So they're truly talented people. And I think even Riordan from House of War is coming down, I think. So just haven't had this many like guests and sponsors before. So tick them all off.
I mean, 2023 is a big year.
It is.
It's a big year for everyone. It's a big year for the hobby. It's a big year for, everything. It's good.
From what I hear, it's going to be big. So
yeah, make sure you guys catch the stream next Saturday over on Legends and Lore. We'll have links and stuff up to that as well as bits and pieces that we're doing. And you can get all the details for sponsors at arc40k.com.au, linked down in the description as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. So before we round out for the evening, let's throw over to Lawrence. Do we have any audience interactions and questions that can get answered? Alrighty, we have a question for Dan. Aside from himself, who do you think is the best looking organizer?
From Ben Zagami.
Ben Zagami.
Ben Zagami is running like he's the 40k guy at ARC.
Okay, all right.
So thanks for watching, Ben. Let's go with Locky.
Yeah, check it out.
Just a shit Ben.
Was he referring to us or was he referring to your crew?
I don't know.
He
just said organizer. You organize events, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm going rules as written on this one. Mate.
Look, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I mean, I don't know. Look, we had a picture in our internal chat up on Instagram of Lawrence sitting over here earlier on. He was looking pretty snazzy in his props.
Because I'll let you guys fight for it if you want. It's all good. So.
All right. Question in regards to the ARC40K event. I've purchased an ARC Open entry ticket. Is that for the painting comp or the tourney? There's a few different ticketing.
Yes.
It's a good chance to talk about that.
That's right.
A few different ticketing.
If you've purchased an ARC Open entry ticket, you've entered the painting competition. ARC40K tickets are for the gaming.
Gotcha. See, ARC40K is the gaming.
Yep.
And that's sold
ARC
out.
Open, it's sold out.
Yep.
And ARC Open is for the painters.
Gotcha. It's the painting side of things.
Yeah.
Cool.
We don't have the dual ticket available anymore
Yep.
because obviously we're too close and we've sold out of that.
Yep. Makes sense.
So, but originally we had a dual ticket. And we do have some general admission tickets as well now that we've got international guests.
General admission is just come along, hang out.
Yep, come along, hang out. We will have a hangout space.
Okay, cool.
Where people can just hang out and just chat, do some hobby, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
So you can just spend a bit of cash to come down and do some hobby with potentially with some Emil and Lucas and everyone around
Lucas and whoever else rocks up at the table to say good day.
That's pretty cool.
That's actually really cool.
Around, so yeah.
The next question is for you.
For me specifically.
I didn't put it here, but
Okay.
how many Pink Floyd shirts?
How many Pink Floyds? Is this Tomo again? Tomo, check the Discord. You've seen the picture of my hangers. I have all the Pink Floyd shirts.
He gets the text in his.
That's hilarious.
It's a different one to the one I wore last week.
They do. All right. If it is, they look very, very similar.
It's the same shirt.
Oh, it is
but
the same
but
shirt.
Different physical
different
shirt.
physical. Okay, cool.
I've got like 4 of them.
All right, same design.
Specifically
You
for
like-
Tomo.
Like Bart Simpson, mate. When you open the cupboard, you've just got
yeah. Well, like
All
just
the same.
every Simpsons
Yeah.
character, right?
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
they all
pretty much,
they
yeah,
all
wear the
wear the
same
same
thing.
thing.
wow. I've got the same shirt 4 times.
I know that's.
I don't think
very
I've got
true.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think I've got a
very
single
weird.
shirt.
Well, the best
Apart
thing
from
was
like
I
work
only-
Work shirts.
Work
yeah,
shirts
yeah.
is about it.
Oh, like, yeah.
Suppose you're
best thing
missing
was
a
I
lot
only,
of
I
shit.
only had one, and then Tomo was giving me crap for it, so now I've got 4.
Yeah.
So, here you go.
You have to prove that you got 4 next show. You know,
I have. There's a picture in the Discord
Okay,
of
good.
just 4 of them on a,
All
on
right.
a thing.
That's good.
I've tagged you, Tomo. Go check it out. But yeah, I think if that's everyone down there, yep, that pretty much rounds us up. So thank you so much, Dan, for coming on. It's been a pleasure
anytime.
to have you here. Good to
It's
chat.
been good to have a chat.
Good to look at your eyes across the top of our
Yes.
little mic stands we're doing here.
Yes.
dodging through
It's
where
like
that
it's
is.
like we're back in COVID when you wear a mask, mate. Don't
Yeah.
It's almost as though
Can't
like
see
they
us.
didn't realize they can move them. You know, you could.
Well, we move into here and then no one hears us.
No,
Yeah.
I mean you can move the. Anyway, whatever. I'm not gonna. Well, we've been making great eye contact.
Yeah,
this whole
that's why I've been
time.
looking at you a lot, 'cause I could-
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been great to chat
anytime.
to you. I'm keen for next weekend.
Yes, so are we, mate.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
very
pretty
excited.
Also wanted to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. You can see them showing up down in the bottom corner there as well. General Games, Dice Arcade, Miniature Scenery. Go check them all out. Link down below. Huge thanks to all of our patrons. You guys let us keep doing this and improving it every time. You guys get early access to all of our Horus Heresy stuff, which we have more than one early access report for them up now. Another one coming out soon.
Another one coming out soon.
Another one coming out soon.
Had a couple issues recently.
Oh yeah.
Blame Google. I still don't know.
We-
Still speaking to them right now about what's going on. But
There's a couple things behind the scenes, but you guys get early access to all of our stuff.
yeah.
You guys are legends. Thank you so much. If you want to become a patron, we'll link down below. Jump in our Discord, all free, all linked down below.
Yep.
If you enjoyed any of this kind of chat, it carries on in there, as well as loads of hobby miniature painting. We run at all of our local club days as well. At least twice a month, we open up a club space, and everyone gets to come down, play games on tables. Can be 40k or anything.
Yep.
We get Galt to 40k, 30k, Age of Sigmar. We had some Lord of the Rings happening recently. We've had Armada played, Bolt Action, lots of Blood Bowl, a bit of Magic.
You
lots of
name
painting
it.
and hobby.
Old
It's good
tabletop
stuff.
there.
It's all organised through our Discord, so make sure you're in that one, all down the southeast suburbs of Melbourne.
Early access to tournaments as well through
Yep.
the Discord and through Patreon as well. Always goes to
They've-
Patreon first,
yes.
then to Discord, then to public. So if you
They've
want
had
to,
access to our next
Yeah.
couple of events all weekend, which is just going up today for everybody else. So
Yep.
make sure to get around it if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of those.
yes.
Without any further ado, thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Bye.